Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today we're going to be revisiting the Hero Analysis series, which, to be fair, doesn't really have an amazingly strong purpose yet, but I know I enjoy talking about certain heroes, so I figured I'd turn on the mic and talk about Junkrat. So, Junkrat is a particularly interesting hero because he's a hero that I feel is really hard to balance. He's not a hero that requires a ridiculous amount of mechanical aim. And I think the majority of the value that you have to get from him comes from smart decision making with positioning and understanding map geometry and really being able to take advantage of the Riptire in the best case, that you can, the best way possible. So Junkrat has an ultimate that more or less stands alone, and I guess it's important to go on ahead and explain that his ultimate now is a little overpowered. But we're not just going to be looking at his ultimate right now, we're going to be kind of talking about the character overall, but we do need to touch on that. The Riptire currently is a bit ridiculous, and obviously we've seen that they are going to be making some changes to, the way that it interacts around the map and maybe the way that it flies through the air on the PTR, but it's going to kind of be interesting to see what they decide to do with that. So, understanding that the Riptire is an ultimate that stands alone mostly unless comboed with, say, a Zarya Graviton is important to understanding the proper playstyle or the most efficient playstyle for Junkrat. Junkrat is the hero that wants to make his enemies uncomfortable. He wants to put them in a disadvantageous position by spamming in their direction, forcing them to move out of, certain choke points or, defensive holds. He wants to, push them back off of the point on attack. And overall, he's just the type of hero that is a very demanding type of presence in terms of positioning. And the Riptire does just that as well. The Riptire is primarily used for finding anywhere between 1 to 2 kills more often than not. And sometimes, he can make a big play and grab 3 or 4, but it's an amazingly useful tactic to initiate a fight or to start a fight off by diving one of your heroes, say your Winston in, or, pushing the team in with Reinhardt, while also at the same time using a Riptire to find those people that are out of position from the push, to find those people that are, unaware, don't have their head on the swivel, and pick them off with the Riptire. So definitely an amazing usage with a very unique ultimate, something that's not really looking to be comboed all that much. And I think that's interesting because a lot of the heroes in Overwatch really want to combo ultimates. But, that's just Junkrat. He's kind of the spammy, awesome, just kind of ridiculous hero that's in the game. And I think that's why I'm drawn to Junkrat. He's definitely just an interesting character, and he has been since, way before the buff. And he's just, really, really fun. But if you look at his kit and you look at the recent changes to him, one thing that definitely gives him an edge is his newfound mobility. Now, it doesn't really change the character that much. They've given him an additional mine, but it definitely gives him more options. And I think understanding that the ability to find or create win conditions is also, a byproduct of how many options and how much utility you have. So when you have the ability to move somewhere very quickly, or get to a height very quickly and reposition yourself the way that Junkrat can now, it's definitely going to open up more win conditions. It's going to open up more potential kills. It's going to open up, better ways to push, better geometry of the map for Junkrat, just in certain points where he was never very strong before. And so while it's not a huge buff to give him the second mine, and I'm not talking about a buff in terms of damage, it is a massive buff to understand how this newfound mobility is going to help the hero. So all in all, we know Junkrat is a very strong hero now. We know that he's, building this spam meta and, becoming a problem on Reddit and different Facebook groups for, various characters. So how do you counter him? Well, I wanted to go on ahead and add 3 hero counters to a hero analysis video, and my top 3 picks for countering Junkrat is going to be D.Va, Genji, and Pharah. And I want to kind of give a slight analysis on that and explain why those are my top 3 picks. D.Va, and this is all pending the D.Va rework and D.Va changes that we've seen on the PTR, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up anyways. She simply has defense matrix. She has the ability to rid a lot of Junkrat's damage, which is very, like I've said, not aimed and not directed specifically, and she can just mitigate that entirely. She can mitigate mines, she can cut down his mobility if she's in his face, and all in all, she's just a very demanding presence against Junkrat. Now that said, he can definitely, put some damage onto her or chase her down and wait out the defense matrix. So it is going to be an interesting fight, and that's how I feel about him with, various heroes, but I definitely think that she does have a slight edge. As for Genji, Genji is the perfect hero for fighting Junkrat, most likely. He has the mobility to keep himself away from the grenades coming from Junkrat's weapon. He has the ability to climb up walls and keep himself out of that kind of predictive projectile path that Junkrat players are able to find. You have the ability to consistently move and escape that, and Tracer has the same ability as well, more or less. So Genji gets a one-up from me on that because of the fact that he can dash through Junkrat, and because of the fact that he can deflect the nades back. And as long as you're a decent Genji player, you just have to watch out for the traps on the ground. And Pharah, well, I think this one is a pretty easy understanding. He simply is just not able to deal with her. Now, I've seen a couple of videos of, like a double mine jumping into the air and killing Pharah, and yes, that's definitely, a possibility, or like a single mine jump and Junkrat combo to finish off the Pharah. Yes, that's definitely a possibility, but I think understanding that air superiority goes to Pharah 90% of the time, it's going to be a hard time for Junkrat players. That said, the Riptire is a great utility to getting Pharah out of the area if you are already playing Junkrat and you have that, and you need to create some space for future fights. So Junkrat, he's an awesome hero. He's always been good, but it's finding the value out of him that is different than some of the other heroes in Overwatch. So thank you so much for watching this video. That's going to be the Junkrat hero analysis I have. I'm looking to refine this series because I like it and I like talking about the heroes. It may just be, introducing my thoughts and opinions on them at the current time of releasing the video. So please do not leave without leaving a like, subscribe for future content. We're going to be pushing out videos all the time, and I'll see you in the next video.